So at the Royal Rumble, we've got Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. I think Roman Reigns holds on to the title, but I think that it'll be the beginning of splitting those titles and probably hit a big act in the story of Sami Zayn splitting from the Bloodline. You've got Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. Now, this is a very Uncle Howdy heavy undercard. We have 3 matches announced officially for the undercard of the Royal Rumble. And Uncle Howdy is involved in 2 of the 3 matches. So we'll see how it works out. But Bianca Belair is defending the title against Alexa Bliss. I do not think that Bianca Belair is going to lose the title to Alexa Bliss. I think that Bianca Belair is going to carry that title into the Royal Rumble. I think that the winner of the Royal Rumble, I think right now, Roman Reigns and Bianca Belair are your 2 most dominant champions, are your 2 most marquee champions. Walter might be right under, but when you look at the reigns that they've had, when you look at the matches that they've had, Roman Reigns and Bianca Belair are your defending champions going into WrestleMania. Anything can happen with the other titles, in my opinion. So I think Bianca Belair wins this match in spite of Uncle Howdy. But clearly, this Uncle Howdy Alexa Bliss thing has to continue. And I think that Alexa Bliss probably pops up in the Bray Wyatt LA Knight thing. I think that LA Knight's probably going to win. I think Alexa Bliss may even help LA Knight win. Because I think that LA Knight winning is going to be the final step that Bray Wyatt needs to bring The Fiend back. And it will lead us to Uncle Howdy with Alexa Bliss under her control having a match against The Fiend at WrestleMania. So Uncle Howdy is in charge of Alexa Bliss. The Fiend is on his own. And it's Uncle Howdy versus The Fiend. Alexa Bliss at ringside. Now let's get to the Royal Rumble matches themselves. This is what it's all about. This is what the bets are going to be about. This is what everybody's going to be having fun doing on Saturday night looking. Now, as of this recording, and I'm assuming we're doing this before Raw and SmackDown. I'm not assuming that. That's definite. But what I am assuming is that on Raw and SmackDown, we're going to get more participants announced for both matches, but the women's match especially, because on the women's side, you've only got, by my calculations, 7 entrants announced for the Royal Rumble. We have Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Emma announced for the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, there's a lot that can get added to that match. Ronda Rousey has disappeared since losing the title to Charlotte. Ronda Rousey could return for the Royal Rumble. I don't think it would be the big hyped Ronda Rousey wins the Royal Rumble return that last year was, but she could come back for the Royal Rumble. If Charlotte doesn't defend against Sonya Deville, I guess I would keep the champions out. We've done that before, but yeah. I mean, if Charlotte should be on the pay-per-view somewhere, so maybe she'll defend against Sonya Deville, and that would also explain why Sonya Deville is not in this match. I'm curious as to where Becky Lynch is going to land. Maybe they're keeping her out of the Royal Rumble just so she doesn't lose the Royal Rumble, but I think she should be in the Royal Rumble match. Well, I think Becky Lynch is going to have to climb back towards the throne, you know. So I think Becky should be in the Rumble. I mean, really, the whole roster that's not wrestling for a title should be in the Women's Royal Rumble match. But then in terms of legends, I don't know who's in what kind of shape. I think the Bellas are a layup. I would love to see Eve Torres jump back in there. I think Kelly Kelly's been in most of them, but I always pop for a Kelly Kelly comeback. I'm expecting that in terms of who's winning. I guess Rhea Ripley did an interview last week because now the headline is that Rhea Ripley has said that she wants to be in the Men's Royal Rumble match. And I think that'd be great. I loved the Rhea Ripley versus Akira Tozawa match. I love the idea that we're doing intergender stuff. And I think that Rhea Ripley is the person to do it. All that said, I do not want Rhea Ripley in the men's Royal Rumble match. The reason I don't want Rhea Ripley in the men's Royal Rumble match is because that only works if she gets eliminated from the women's Royal Rumble match and then later in the night shows up and now she's in the men's Royal Rumble match. The reason I don't want that to happen is because I would like Rhea Ripley to win the women's Royal Rumble match. Rhea Ripley has been on the trajectory that we have all been waiting for. Rhea Ripley had a WrestleMania moment. You know, Rhea Ripley had her match with Charlotte at WrestleMania. It was number one, the COVID WrestleMania, and it was number two, too early, in my opinion. I think now is the time that Rhea Ripley is ready. And I think doing a Bianca Belair, you could do Charlotte, I would do Bianca. Doing a Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania would be the match. Now for the men, this is where it gets interesting. I think they're going to throw everything at the men's Royal Rumble match. I think that the reason that Cody Rhodes was announced already, number one, is because there's no reason for it to be a surprise. I think that they've got enough surprises planned where it'll either take away from, something's going to get taken away from. If Cody is your surprise, then it might take away from the other surprises, or the other surprises might take away from Cody. Why mix and match? You don't want him to announce in person because Cody's pop is going to be about the fact that we're seeing him back in an arena for the first time. That's why all this stuff has been pre-recorded. That's why we haven't seen Cody, because the first time you see him back is when he walks down that aisle. And it's not a surprise the way John Cena was, because everybody's been following the timeline. Everybody has been expecting literally since Hell in a Cell. They started counting months and said, yeah, he'll come back in the Royal Rumble. He'll enter and he'll win. Maybe Cody will win. But this is who we've got announced for the Royal Rumble match. Cody Rhodes, of course. Kofi Kingston, who was the first to announce way early on the 2nd of December. Santos Escobar is in it. Ricochet. Austin Theory. Seth freaking Rollins. Bobby Lashley. Baron Corbin, the modern-day wrestling god, as it were, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Karrion Kross. I would imagine that we'll get some Judgment Day influence in this match as well. I would think you've got to put Dominic Mysterio in there, right? Or maybe the thing is you don't put Dominic Mysterio in. Maybe you put Finn Balor and Damian Priest in. And maybe Dominic comes out to help with the elimination of his father. I still think that we're going to set up a Dominic versus Rey Mysterio match at WrestleMania. I think the Royal Rumble would be a good place to start it because they're on separate rosters, and I don't know if we have any major holidays coming up between now and WrestleMania that would result in Dominic going to Rey's house to set it up. So I feel like the Royal Rumble is a good place to set it up. I feel like you do Dominic having Rey get eliminated with the help of the Judgment Day in the ring, and then Rey doing something around Elimination Chamber, having Dominic interfere in that, and enough is enough. Fine, I'll fight you. And Dominic says, put your career on the line. So I think you're going to have that. I would imagine you'll get Edge coming back, and that may be where if you have the Judgment Day eliminating Rey with Dominic's help, then Edge comes back to take out Finn Balor and Damian Priest because he's got unfinished business with them. I think you might be onto something there. I don't think AJ Styles will be back from injury by Royal Rumble. He might be. Johnny Gargano is supposed to be back from injury by Royal Rumble, so he may be a surprise. I think you've got to have legends coming back, right? Like, I don't know if this is where you bring Brock Lesnar back. It might be. I don't think you want to have Brock Lesnar winning, but it might be where you bring Brock Lesnar back. Look, if you really want to tell a story, you have Sami Zayn enter this thing, because we've also got no bloodline representation in this thing. You have Sami Zayn enter the Royal Rumble. You have Roman becoming offended by that. You go to Elimination Chamber with Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. And you can still do my other idea, which was split the titles, have the WWE Championship be vacant by WrestleMania, and have Sami Zayn cash in his actual Royal Rumble win at WrestleMania by facing Kevin Owens in the main event of night one for the WWE Championship. So my reach is that Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble. He loses to Roman in Elimination Chamber. He goes to WrestleMania to face Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship night one. I think Seth Rollins is absolutely a possibility. Cody is the obvious one, right? Cody is very obvious. Nobody's going to be disappointed if Cody wins. It's not a problem. He might not win, right? It wouldn't be, I mean, for me to just say, yeah, it'll probably be Cody is not much of a fun, why are we doing a podcast then? Why are we making videos? Like, why? That's not fun. So, Cody could absolutely win. I think Seth Rollins could very well win. The idea of going to WrestleMania with Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, I don't think you're going to have anybody upset. I think you could have Seth Rollins eliminate Cody. You could go to Elimination Chamber with Seth Rollins versus Cody with the Royal Rumble spot on the line. You could have Seth Rollins finally beat Cody. It's Cody's first loss. Seth Rollins goes to WrestleMania. And then coming off of WrestleMania, Cody has to chase, maybe Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns. And then Cody has to chase Seth Rollins for the title now. That's something. You could have Roman Reigns enter the Royal Rumble as champion after beating Kevin Owens. You could have Roman eliminate Cody. And then you could have Sami accidentally eliminate Roman and have Sami win so Roman doesn't win the Rumble. Because I think once Roman comes out, once he eliminates Cody, Cody comes in at number 1, Roman comes in at number 30. Roman eliminates Cody. Roman gets eliminated. And now it's anybody's ball game. I think that's a very exciting finish. I absolutely think that The Rock is as big a possibility as anybody coming in and winning the match. I don't think he needs to. I think he could still go to WrestleMania if he doesn't. By my calculations, if Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble, and if Kevin Owens wins the Elimination Chamber, then you've got Sami versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, and you can still do Roman Reigns versus The Rock on night 2. And you've cashed in your Royal Rumble, your Elimination Chamber, and you've got your Rock match. So it's not a problem there. But will it happen? I don't know. Hell, Stone Cold Steve Austin could be in this. I don't think he will. I think that the pop of seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin is still that pop. I believe Stone Cold Steve Austin will have a match at WrestleMania. That's my belief. I don't know that the Royal Rumble sets it up, but we are looking at a Royal Rumble where it's not unfeasible that Brock Lesnar, The Rock, and Steve Austin are all in this thing. Hell, we could put Goldberg in this thing. I wouldn't be against it, having Goldberg in the Royal Rumble, as long as he gets eliminated. Maybe what if Lashley eliminates Brock Lesnar? What if we have Brock Lesnar enter and Lashley eliminates him? I'm down for another Lashley-Lesnar match at WrestleMania. I'm down for it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. So for me, and then you got Karrion Kross in there. Braun Strowman, of course, is a big galoot. I think Gunther, even though you've got Karrion Kross, who's maniacal superstar that will just destroy everybody. Maniacal, dominant superstar. I think he'll do fine. Braun Strowman is as big as a house, yes, but I think Gunther is going to be the one that gets that Kane spot, that Diesel spot, where he's indestructible and he has a showing. I think this is going to be a big show out for Gunther, but if it's me, I'm going to go for it. Right now, I'm going to make my call. Sami Zayn is winning the Royal Rumble, goes to Elimination Chamber to face Roman Reigns, and then faces Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Tell me I don't know how to book. Go ahead.